Game number 2, Apocalypse versus BuRny. This is a matchup I've really been looking forward to today. Granted, I didn't know they would play each other, but I inferred that they would, and here they are. Now, Apocalypse did take game number 1, random between 3 factions, 4 factions actually, and getting Nerazim. I knew he would. Let's see if it happens again. And no, in the upper left, the Yellow Swarm, Apocalypse in the bottom right. Random between the 2 Terran sub-factions. Getting Dominion is BuRny. So we have Dominion versus Swarm. Interesting matchup. Don't really know how it's going to function. There's so many matchups in HeptaCraft. There's just no way I could really know how they all are going to work. There's really no standard either. I mean, we see the same matchup a couple times, and both players may play completely different, whether you choose to go bio, whether you choose to go mech. I mean, it's not so much like, oh, well, I'm versus Swarm, so that means I go bio. Is not really something that's defined yet for HeptaCraft, nor will it necessarily ever be. And I don't know, maybe if there was a giant player base, that's something that happens, but HeptaCraft is so diverse, and there's so many interesting things that you can do, and you know, there's some cases where you have to get a specific thing to counter something else, but your options are not limited, which is pretty cool. I like the little rubber duck here. It's very cute. Oh, that's a little too far. A little too far. What if I just did the whole game like this? So it's a little too far. There's a few instances that could be pretty neat to check out. All right, so the question is, what are these players going to do? Apocalypse possibly either going to scout or take a fast base. He is. He's even saying this map is huge, so I think he's saying because it's huge, he's implying this is why I'm taking. I feel like he's talking to me. He's saying, Jayborino, remember when you told me that I always do one base play? Fuck you. This map is big. I'm getting an expansion. That's what that was right there. It's a little dig against Jayborino because everything's about me, if you haven't learned that yet. Anyway, what the fuck am I doing? All right, so BuRny getting a tech lab on his first barracks, possibly because he wants to get fast stim or something like that. The question is, will he be going heavy mech or not? We've seen some really cool mech play from Scaphism in the last tournament, and there have been a few instances. Actually, we've seen Karo Sero in the past do well with Dominion mech, but not too much from anyone else. It's very rare, I think, do you see Dominion, did I say mech? I meant bio. It's very rare we've seen Dominion bio be super effective. And there it is, another barracks, so BuRny probably going to do some Dominion bio. That cloning VATS upgrade, the Terrazine upgrade later on is awesome. It's just, I don't know. It's awesome. It's just, is bio really what you want to be doing when you're Dominion? And in the late game, of course, you want the ability to just churn out Marines for whatever reason. Whatever reason you may need them, give me just like 20 Marines. Do it. Give me those Marines, because, you know, it's an 18 build time, but I think it's decreased significantly when you get those cloning VATs, and they're cheaper. So that's a great upgrade, but do you want to just be focusing on bio? Arguably, no. You definitely either need air support or heavy mech support from Dominion. Their strong suit is definitely those Crucio tanks, in my humble opinion. I am but a mere platinum pleb who does not know anything, as some would say. And I don't. I mean, who's to say? I don't play enough HeptaCraft. These two players blow me out of the water. So if BuRny says, I'm going to do some Bio Dominion, he probably has a much better reason than me talking through why Bio needs to be very heavily supported. He does have his factory coming out, so we may see an interesting mix here. He's got a reactor coming out, so we're probably going to do some heavy infantry, marine, medic coming on out right here. And lots of scouting. This map is very large. Here comes some Zerglings across the map. Now, BuRny has walled himself in this time. I feel like last map, had he walled himself in, he might not have been caught unawares from those early Fnatic attacks and would not have been put on the back foot. Because I feel like BuRny was put on the back foot a lot last match. I'm sad that I missed the Disruptor drops. I knew it was going to happen. I said it from minute one that was going to happen. But when two interesting harassment scenarios are happening at the same time on the map, it's hard to look at both. And, I don't know, maybe I'm just not on my game as much today. I gotta look more at the minimap, you know, as everyone should when they play StarCraft, right? Alright, we have a Cerberus out from BuRny. Now, these can be upgraded to shoot while moving. They are the Dominion's most effective harassment tool, I think. That's, you know, who's to say? I'm saying it right now. I think Cerberus are wonderful, especially once you get the, mobile targeting. They're so good. You can just stack them up and roast any light units that your opponent has to throw at you. Now, Swarm, though, on the other hand, the only thing on the ground that is light are Zerglings. Hydralisks are not light, nor are they armored. They're simply biological. Now, Cerberus, 6 damage against Hydralisks wouldn't be bad, but it's not ideal. You just stack up some tanks and kill them instead. So here's the Cerberus. Lots of Zerglings here, those 16 Zerglings. This Cerberus not going to be able to do too much. BuRny being hesitant. Did he see those? It looks like he's focused on what's going on in his base right now. Still just some Zerglings kind of hanging out. And these Cerberus shoot so fast. It's just when they don't shoot while moving, they're not going to be able to do too much. One Cerberus going down. They're very fragile. Very, very fragile. So if you know, like 2 or 3 Cerberus would do well against this, but only one is going to get surrounded and killed quite fast. So let's see. How much health do they even have? 125. No base armor. But he is going heavy Cerberus, which I think is a smart thing to do against Swarm early on, because you're going to expect probably a lot of Zerglings right here. What do we have? 16, 24 Zerglings, 26 Zerglings running across the map, as I expect Apocalypse is going to be transitioning into either air or to Ultralisks. He's getting a Queen's Nest, which to me means he's probably going to go Hive Ultralisk against Dominion, which will be kind of cool to see, especially if we see some siege tanks or anything coming out from BuRny. BuRny, no expansion in the works. The Zerglings getting shoot away, knowing that the Cerberus are here. They're not going to be able to hold up against this, but this map really is huge. So either player could very easily get caught out of position. Now, Apocalypse has taken 3 fast bases. He's got his creep colonies in his mineral lines that he can change into spore or spine crawlers, depending on what he thinks is most appropriate. But Apocalypse is macroing very, very hard this map. While BuRny, it looks like, deciding to go on the offensive because Apocalypse, no Spire en route yet. The Hive is not started yet. So this may be a great opportunity for BuRny to get in some early attacks. Oh no, all of the Cerberus getting hit. He used burn gas wanting to get them out of there, but when the burn gas is being used, they can't attack. So once that was used and they were surrounded, that's it for those Cerberus. And he killed some drones. I just need to check this out. Only 2 drones killed, not huge. Now, here goes Apocalypse realizing that those were just attacked. He's morphing his Zerglings into the agility mutations or adaptations so that he can flank this attack. Now, more Zerglings in the main base, but oh, this big surround right here. And BuRny's in an okay spot, but he's not fully against the wall or the geyser, so he is getting surrounded, and he does get cleaned up by BuRny. Apocalypse rebuilding a lot of his drone, well, not rebuilding, building more drones rather than Zerglings. Let's check the units right here. 29 Zerglings on the map, 3 more Cerberus from BuRny. Now, the big question in my mind is, when is BuRny, he is taking his second base now, but BuRny is definitely behind in income. Not by that much. He is still building workers. It's just he's oversaturated right now. He needed maybe start this command center a little earlier. That's some harsh criticism. But, it would have been nice if he would have. I'm not trying to backseat game right here. A lot of these drones, oh man, they took a bit of a beating. It's too bad they didn't go down. Granted, you got to remember the mend here could have made a big difference as well. The defensive town hall. Here are a lot of Zerglings. He's changing some into Raptorlings, which can leap up and down cliffs. You do have to use that though. This combat ability is something you have to use. All right, and these Zerglings are just waiting. They're just waiting. They're going to probably go and check for the expansion. He might assume that it's there. Yeah, he was coming around. I think he expected this expansion to be there, and it's not. They're the Raptorlings that jumped inside the main base. The Cerberus are trying to react. Meanwhile, oh, the supply depot's down. It's down. It's down. Oh, God. Oh, God. Anyway, the Raptorlings all got cleaned up. Except, nope, they all did. All the Raptorlings got cleaned up. He's leaving a Zergling over there to block the third base and possibly to turn into a Raptorling later. Here go the Cerberus. They do have mobile targeting now, so that's going to increase their effectiveness against Zerglings by an immense amount. We have Adrenal Glands, fast Adrenal Glands coming out. There's the Ultralisk Cavern, Swarm Ground Carapace, and a Defiler Mound. So very heavy ground here from Apocalypse, doing Zergling Ultralisk with Zergling Speed and Adrenal Glands. Pretty cool build here. No Mutalisks. I would have expected Mutalisks, but perhaps he knows that Dominion has such a strong anti-air capability with both Typhoons and Valkyries. He's just deciding, I'm not even going to waste the money right now, maybe later, but right now I know that BuRny might be able to react to that if he has 1 starport up. All BuRny needs is a starport. He gets 1 or 2 Valkyries out. Mutalisks are wasted. Also, Dominion get missile pods just by default on their missile turrets, so they are just really, really well defended against Mutalisks. So, interestingly enough, we're going to see a really cool ground composition here by Apocalypse. He's getting that rapid gestation, which is essentially will allow him to get Swarmlings. That is a Terrazine upgrade. Almost kind of like the equivalent, not really, I was going to say. It's similar to cloning VATS. The general idea is there. It helps you get your tier 1 faster. Here comes BuRny. Moving up along the right side. Will Apocalypse spot him? What can Apocalypse see? Well, he saw everything right there. Blue Flame and firing on the move. So Apocalypse is going to have to react to this. The question is, sorry, a little bit of frame rate hiccups right there. Let's keep an eye on this. Apocalypse mutating some Raptorlings, interestingly enough. He's got half of his Zerglings in agility, most of them now in spikes. I think that only works against melee attackers, and there are no melee attackers here. As this amount of Cerberus, he's going to try to get him in there and roast some drones, and these Marines are not happy right now. We have more Cerberus right here, and again, right now, no Ultralisks yet. We have a Defiler coming out and an Ultralisk. All the Zerglings get roasted, and Apocalypse is on the cusp of having what he needs to just smash through BuRny right now. But BuRny is going to put the hurt on while he still can. All these drones going to run by the Cerberus. All the drones getting roasted. All the Zerglings going down too. This is a huge, huge win for BuRny. The question is, will he be able to follow up on this? Because we have Chitinous plating with Ultralisks and +3 Carapace coming out here very soon. Here's the first Ultralisk. It is in the Pigalisk. The Pigalisk adaptation, which means it's quite fast and can burrow charge and is really small. Alternatively, you can change it to a Tarrasque where it gets +2 armor and gets the cleave. Right now, the Pigalisk doesn't have cleave, and I'm surprised. I've not seen enough people use Tarrasque, and I'm surprised they don't. Perhaps it's just very, very small. But even in Pigalisk form, you can see it as 4 base armor and is just getting... it's just smashing through these Marines. I think BuRny now realizes the predicament he may be in. What's he going to start getting? He's getting +2. He definitely needs some ground upgrades. Anabolic Synthesis is scary. This allows Ultralisks to move much, much faster. And the Pigalisks are just out for blood as they chase down these Cerberus. Meanwhile, these poor Marines and medics are going to go down now. And again, this map is very large, so Apocalypse has a bit of a tech lead right now, but he's down in supply, and he has to go a very long way to attack BuRny. Also, with no Mutalisks on the field, he can't circumvent any main defenses that BuRny might have. Interesting, BuRny has blocked himself in with armories. Now, this could be really dangerous for him, but we'll see. These Cerberus, though, eventually going to be outdated. He's trying to run by. He's just luring these Pigalisks all around. I mean, they're basically Ultralisks. It's just the Pigalisk strain. The adaptation now getting out with Cerberus. He's burning gas to get away very, very fast. These Ultralisks, you can see how fast they move. 5.44 movement speed. There's the Tarrasque. There's the Tarrasque. You can see they're huge. Let's see. Yeah, they're much slower. So that actually answers a lot of my questions, because I was thinking +2 armor, 7 ground armor is nuts. Chitinous plating +3 plus the base armor plus the Tarrasque adaptation. But they're super slow. Keep in mind, though, they also do cleave damage. So, I fear for BuRny because he doesn't have any. There's the Typhoon with the anti-air. They're kind of like Goliaths, but that can only attack air. But BuRny does not have the anti-ground he needs for this. Do we have the Pigalisk coming across the map? No. So what's getting made right here? Cellular reactors for his medics. He doesn't have really any heavy infantry either. Going really heavy Cerberus. He has a few heavy infantry. Those will be good against Ultralisks, but not that much. They only do 10 damage. There we go, 12 damage now with +2. There's the Defiler. Dark Swarm, obviously very good ability. If you're unfamiliar, it basically makes you immune to all ranged projectiles. So you need to have melee under the Swarm, so it works really well in conjunction with Zerglings and Ultralisks. You Dark Swarm on top of enemy units that are ranged, and you run in with your melee units, and you're immune, and you kill all of them. The Ultralisk adaptations are very, very cool. I noticed Rainey talking about it in the chat. I don't know. 7 armor is terrifying, and it's not that I'm saying it's too good. It's that BuRny, right at this moment, does not have what he needs to combat it, and he's not making anything that would help him combat it. He's getting a Ghost Academy right now, which will let him get the cloning vats, but unless he starts pumping out a ton of heavy infantry, tanks, or eventually Gorgon battlecruisers, I don't know what he can do, because his stuff is going to get eaten up by the cleave. But he can also kite these. You can see, oh my god, look how much damage a single Cerberus did against this amount of Zerglings. That's incredible. Dominion weapons level 3 coming out will certainly help him against the Pigalisks. This map is so large that we're moving into a big macro game. 5 bases for Apocalypse. The 5th one's being built. 3rd base now, though, just going down for BuRny. And he doesn't have any defense up. Keep in mind, Dominion can make these flame turrets, which are pretty nice. They don't burrow like Perdition turrets, but they still are very good against Zergling run-bys. Nothing like that going up right now. Here come a bunch of Zerglings about to get roasted, as now... Oh, the Cerberus, run away! Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm scared to think about what's happening here. Oh, there's the Dark Swarm. And that's going to allow him to be immune even to the fire. I think, unless it's been changed, I'll have to check the tooltip here. Shields it from any ranged attack, so fire won't work either, like splash damage from fire. Typically, Siege Tank splash damage works, like the primary attack doesn't work, but the splash damage does. And does he have any? Still no tanks, no transition into tanks, no air units, just tons and tons of bio. Does he have cloning vats out? He's researching it now, but it might be too late. Here come the Tarrasques! Oh, God. Actually, he's doing great against these Tarrasques. Even with 7 armor, those are getting smoked. Does he have any Cerberus left? They're all up here. I worry about these Zerglings, actually, because the Cerberus aren't here where they need to be. Apocalypse probably going to be able to smash through this. As you can see, there was the Dark Swarm allowing most of the units to get through as the Cerberus sit up here, and BuRny GG's. Oh, he GG's. Oh, wow. Yep, Dark Swarm is a good ability. Dark Swarm is good. It's very good.